Mr. Chairman, we are now recording.
Okay. I'll call the meeting to order. Have a roll call.
Dietrich,
Present.
Larson,
Present.
Bingham,
Present.
Plattman. Present. Moore. Present. Let the record show that Mr. Lund and Mr. Leaders are absent. All other members are accounted for.
You all should have a copy of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting?
I move that it be approved.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And I'll read a statement pertaining to the public hearing. The public hearings will be conducted pursuant to the Commission's rules of procedure. If not done so in written form prior to the hearing, we will first hear the report of the planning director on the detailed information and observations regarding the request before the Commission. Next, we will take the testimony of the applicant and his or her witnesses. Upon completion of the applicant's testimony, I will call upon members of the audience wishing to be heard concerning the request. Persons in favor of the request shall be heard first, followed by those opposed to it. At any time during the presentation of testimony, the members of the Commission may interrupt, ask questions, or to make comments on what has been said. Upon the completion of all testimony, the applicant will be allowed to make a closing statement to the Commission. Upon completion of the applicant's closing statement, I will entertain a motion from the Commission to close the public hearing on the request. The Commission reserves the right to ask questions of any member of the audience. However, we will not hear any unsolicited statements unless the public hearing is first reopened. Each speaker addressing this Commission shall step forward to the podium and state their name and address before proceeding with their testimony or evidence. This Commission shall not be bound by strict rules of evidence, but does reserve the right to exclude evidence or testimony that it may deem to be irrelevant, immaterial, incompetent, or unduly repetitious. As chairman, I will rule on all questions relating to the admissibility of evidence which may be overruled by a majority of the Commission. Continuances may be granted by the Commission in case of good cause shown to any interested party who has entered their appearance. The Commission may request a continuance of a hearing for the purpose of giving further notice, taking further evidence, gathering further information, touring the proposed site, or for such other reasons as the Commission may find sufficient. In such case, we shall state the specific reasons for the continuance and set a date, time, and place when the matter will be continued. All official actions of this Commission will be made at a public meeting by motion, seconded, and polling of the membership. If conditions are imposed, such conditions shall be included in the motion or amended thereto. Our final decision will be prepared in writing and will be part of the public record of this Commission. The case tonight is case number MIS. What's next?
We're doing it here.
I know. 2015-01.
Okay,
Right.
correct. The wrong.
The case before us is case MIS 2015-01. Request, recommendation on Potawatomi County Comprehensive Plan 2030. The applicant is Potawatomi County. Would you like to?
You need a motion to open public hearing.
I move to open public hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to open the public hearing. All those in Favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
The request for Potawatomi County in case number MS 2015-01 is for the updated comprehensive plan 2030 that was was in the staff report out to you. If you all would like, I could go down through the significant changes that we made, or if you guys feel like are pretty well up on this.
I read through it, but I
Any-
still need to know what some of the changes are.
Yeah.
I didn't sit at the house last night,
Yeah.
we're going side to side here.
So, in January 2015, with the approval of the Board of Supervisors, MAPPA and Potawatomi County set out to update the current plan as needed. The public input was sought out in 3 meetings that were held throughout the county. We had a public meeting out in Oakland. It was attended by a few to get some brainstorming ideas. We had the map of the zoning that is currently up right now, some of the roads, major roads and bituminous roads up for people to comment on. And really, we didn't receive a whole lot of public input at that meeting. We had another public meeting here that again, I believe we had 1 or 2 attendants at. And then we called basically a public meeting. We called for a meeting at Hy-Vee and Madison there, where we actually sent out invitations to get some people to actually come in and give us some different input of ideas and things and their visions of where they saw development and stuff going to. And we did have some attendance at that meeting and came away with a few different things from it. One of the things we did was we added in comprehensive planning principles to chapter 1. Those are a good part of any plan. They vary everything from, it's on page 3 and page 4, where it starts at for the collaboration, efficiency and transparency, clean, renewable, energy efficient, occupational diversity, revitalizations, housing diversity, community character, about our natural resources and agricultural protection, sustainable design, and transportation diversity. Chapter 2, we updated with updated population data from the 2010 census. In chapter 3, we amended a change from 2-mile areas outside of the communities to go with a half-mile district around the outside of communities. And that will help simplify things for our office, and it'll help simplify things for the communities as well, as far as working together and getting changes made that they want done and whichever directions that they wanted to go to. Lynn Dittmers with MAPPA went to each one of the small communities, talked with them about their goals and their plans and what they had going on, and integrated all that into our plans. One of the biggest things that we did probably was to prohibit extraction pits in the Luss Hills. With the different projects that we've seen going on in southwest Iowa, one of the main concerns really is the protection of the Luss Hills, and to make sure that we don't lose that natural landmark that we have.
So that's gonna protect us, that we see every corner we come to, we see an excavator sitting there digging out dirt and hauling it to somebody's project.
It's gonna help us with that, yes. In conformance with this, we're gonna, this is one step in the process, so then the zoning amendments come and things that we're gonna do. There'll be grading and excavating permits that were an ordinance that we're gonna put together. So whenever somebody comes to get something, building permits through us or anything like that, that is gonna be a piece of that permitting process now. There'll be two different parts to it. It would be, your average job site guy going in there who can draw up their own plans for that, and then it would be an engineered one for anything major. But for the Luss Hills, we're gonna protect that district and say that you're not gonna just come in and wipe out a hill. And the Luss Hills are gonna add in a commercial overlay district to encourage limited opportunities related to the tourism, grown products, arts, craftsmanship, food, wine, produce. Major or minor subdivisions comprised of no more than 4 separate lots can have direct shared access onto hard surface roads beyond 2 miles of Council Bluffs and a half mile of communities in the county.
Where
We-
you at? Where
Page
you at?
15.
Page 29,
It's already,
I think it's 29.
That's on page 30.
30, okay. Okay.
That will allow for, a few more homes to be built relatively close. We're still keeping development centered around the communities, but it does relax things a little bit in that aspect. Yeah, I think you can major ones now. So on the major subdivisions, it tightens it up. And right now you could go out and do a major subdivision as a hard surface road. Now we're saying that we want the major subdivisions within that half mile district of the communities. You can't, example, Sherwood Country Estates out on L34. You would not see a development like that happen under this land use plan. It would be pushed in closer to community for future to be absorbed in. The minor subdivisions out there, you would have.
what's the difference between a major and a minor subdivision?
The minor, you can go up to 4
Per
quarter.
quarter. And that's changing from what it is now?
Right now, you go out there and do a major subdivision.
Right.
If
The
you
minor-
wanted to, if you had, or a developer came in and wanted to do it as a hard surface road,
But when you go down to the minor subdivision, was that still 4 per quarter, or was that 2 per quarter? That was 4?
yeah.
Question. What about the one along 92 between Trainer and Council Bluffs? Would that-
Again, something like that would be pushed in closer to the communities.
Yeah, those maps have the half mile and ornamental of more residential.
I remember, didn't we talk about this a little bit when we did the original one?
Half mile one.
Right, and when the original amendments were done, you guys also went in and did it to where you couldn't do frontage lots,
Right.
along the hard surface roads. You had to do the interior roads. This is maybe another step.
Yep.
Forward towards.
Would there be any requirements to hook up to the city water and sewer then? Or would it still be able to have their own?
In Council Bluffs, in their land use plan, it would, in the 2 mile agreement, that would require annexation. So that would be city services.
And the smaller towns?
It's up to them.
Oh, okay, that would be their choice.
Mm-hmm. So major subdivisions of 5 or more separate lots would require frontage roads or designated access roads that have direct access onto hard surface roads within the 2 miles of Council Bluffs and half miles of other communities in the county. We implement protective measures to limit the excavation sensitive soil areas such as the Loess Hills region by developing a slope protection overlay district. Implement the grading permits and varied standards based on the quantity of soil disturbed and establish a local criterion for development and enforcement of stormwater pollution prevention plans and erosion control plans. And all that's on page 35. And those are the major highlights, I guess I would call them, of what was done with the land use plan. The land use plan that we had was it was put together very well, and a lot of it was able to be reused. It was cleaned up a lot, but everything that was in there, we were basically still in line with for the ideals part of it.
Can I ask you a question? On these extraction pits, would they still be able to get dirt to build an interstate if they needed to? They just have a process to it.
They would be able to, because DOT would just come in and take control of it, and
That's what I thought. Okay. Kind of trumped the card.
we can't stop DOT.
That's what I thought. They have power.
Just wind up with an ice pond.
Yeah, I hear that. Nobody else can do it but them.
Yeah.
So it takes care of all the other situations.
It would. We have, there's days out there sometimes where we wind up chasing them around, but it'll just be another layer of protection for us.
Anything else?
Anything else, Matt?
There was some stuff in here on the parks and some of the roads. Is that any changes? Just cleaned up stuff or?
Yeah, everything,
The original plan, I remember spending months and weeks, and maybe a couple of years. Seemed like.
Well, the original plan was
Or the original plan
an
I worked on.
upgrade from the 60s.
Right.
And nothing had been done with it, and a gazillion things had changed in the county as far as philosophies on development and actual development. And it went through the steering committee, and then it went on to the planning commission, and then on to the board of supervisors. And I think in totality, it was probably an 18-month plus process that it needed a lot of work. And we basically scrapped what we had and started over.
I remember you talking me into being on that steering committee, so.
And that's where it started.
Are there any comments from the audience tonight?
No, the only comment I got is, do we have any extraction pits that exist today? That are-
Smaller
that are
ones?
permitted?
no.
Okay, so nobody's grandfathered. That'd be accurate,
There are some locations,
that are within the city.
well, there's even a couple out in the
Are there?
county. Yeah, there are a
So we've
few.
got those identified then.
Yeah, we pretty much know where those are at.
Okay, then the second
And they're
question
pretty obvious from the maps.
has to deal with, Mr. Flanagan's question. does the DOT have to go through any permitting, even, they're just carte blanche? Really? Okay.
Yeah, they pulled that card on us when they built their, facility out at Oakland.
Okay. Thank you,
We're good.
thank you.
Okay, is there a motion,
I move to close the public hearing.
second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Any other questions or comments, folks?
I don't have any objections.
I move to pass this on to the next level.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the case we had before us tonight. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That's all we have for tonight. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Meeting's adjourned.
You want this back?
I'm holding on to mine.
You're
I'm
right.
holding on to mine.
You better.
I got mine.
You didn't study it enough.